Hi, I'm going to talk about voter suppression in the Electoral College. First, I want to have a disclaimer. I am a libertarian who does not mind smaller government. So, the Electoral College is a disaster for democracy. Tweeted by Donald Trump. 55,000 likes and 85,000 retweets. This was prior to the election. After it, his tone has changed. That it's genius, or if the election were based on the total popular vote, I would have campaigned in New York, Florida, and California and won even bigger and more easily. We got your message, no matter where we were. It was covered nonstop. Wouldn't have changed much. Sorry, I know you're known for exaggerating. Now, the other issue with the Electoral College is it does not give one vote for one person. It's winner take all. That's a big issue. So you could win 51% in your state, but you get all the votes, Electoral College votes. It's not a percentage. So even if you're against the popular vote for some strange reason, like bias, it should still be a percentage, not winner take all, which in most states, their vote is worth basically nothing. I lived in Texas. It didn't matter if I was Republican or a Democrat. My vote wasn't going to change anything by any stretch of the imagination. Easily read, so it doesn't matter if I'm a Republican. It's just going to add on to a huge runaway total. And it doesn't matter if I am a Democrat because we're not going to win. Same in New York. If you're a Republican, your vote is worthless. If you're a Democrat, pretty much your vote is worthless after a certain point. You can't run up the total so much. It doesn't matter. So my point is it should be a percentage so it encourages voters rather than suppressing them. Most people in New York have no motivation to vote. Just like in Texas, you don't have much of a motivation to vote. When I lived in Houston, it didn't matter whether I was Republican or Democrat. I knew what the outcome was going to be on a national election. So that's an issue. It should be a percentage. You get a percentage. That way everyone wants to vote no matter what, because if 60% of people vote one way and 40% the other, well, you get 40% of the delegates and 60% of the delegates. That's a more honest way, which we all should want, unless if you're extremely biased. I mean, when 2 of the last 3 presidential elections, the winner of the popular vote does not win, that is a problem with democracy. 2 out of the last 3 were basically stolen. Bush and Gore, and Clinton and Trump. That's a problem. And Trump won in a landslide of the Electoral College, which is even more shameful. You lose the popular vote, but you win in a landslide? Crazy. And no, there were not tons of illegal votes. That's more fake news brought to you by the biggest liar. And Christians love liars, apparently. So, let me talk about how powerful your vote is. Wyoming, 142,741 people per Electoral College vote. They're number 1. So, you get 1 for every 142,000 people. When New York, it's 519,000 per electoral vote. So your vote is about 3 times more popular in Wyoming. That is completely erroneous too. So your vote is not equally distributed for the number of electoral votes per population. And I also would like to say, New York pays much more in federal taxes than they get back into the government. So why is Wyoming getting so much of this power when they have less people and they pay way less taxes? And when I say less people per electoral college vote. So completely a disaster, and some reason Republicans want to sit on their hands with this because they benefit. So basically they're liars and thieves. Federal tax dollars receive per tax dollar paid. New Jersey pays $1 and only gets 61 cents back in federal taxes. Nevada 65 cents, Connecticut 69, New Hampshire 71, Minnesota 72, Illinois 75, Delaware 77, California 78, and New York 79. And these are huge states, so getting only 78 and 79 cents back per dollar when you pay billions is an enormous amount of money. So New York and California only get back 78 cents and 79 cents, respectively. New York and California, per every dollar they pay to the government. Who are the most beneficiaries? New Mexico, Mississippi, Alaska, Louisiana, West Virginia, North Dakota, Alabama, South Dakota, Virginia, Kentucky, Montana, Hawaii, Maine, Arkansas, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Missouri, and so forth. A lot of red states getting $2 to $1.35 back for every dollar they pay to the federal government. So why do they have more power in our federal government with electoral college votes is beyond me, and it should be considered theft and not democracy. So House legislative seats per population per seat. California has 80 seats per 475,000 people per legislator. Texas has 150 per 173,000 people per legislator. So they have nearly double the seats for less than half the population. New York has the same number of seats at 150 as Texas, but 131,000 people per legislator versus the 173,000 in Texas. So my point is there's a lot of skewing and gerrymandering, which both sides seem to love, especially the Republicans. And I want to end it on one other thing. So we notice that your vote is more powerful in red states that pay the least in federal taxes. Now, where is our federal tax dollars spent? The military, 21 cents of every dollar is spent on the military. Talk about throwing out tons of money at the military and war machines. Crazy. Talk about supporting our military, geez. And most of it is just for combat costs, unfortunately, which most is never used. Medicare and health is 26 cents, so we spend more on our military than our health, which probably is going to cost more deaths. Federal interest is 15.3 cents per dollar on federal debt. Again, I'm libertarian, and I believe we need to work on that, of course. Social Security and unemployment and labor, 84 cents. Veterans benefits, nearly 6 cents. So add that to the military, to 27, and then 6. You're looking at 33 cents per dollar. So 1/3 of your payments go to defense. And that's just military, not even police. Crazy. Food and agriculture gets 5 cents, and most of that goes to subsidized animal agriculture, which benefits red states, animal ag. Factory farmings, which are sick. Transportation under 2. Energy and environment, 1.6 cents per dollar. International affairs, 1.5. Science, 1.1 cents. Housing and community, 1 cent per dollar. 0.1 cent, I'm sorry. Education, 2.5 cents. So socialist public schools, which I have to pay a lot of taxes on, despite being childless by choice. And government, 3.4 cents. So the biggest part of our every dollar we pay to federal taxes is the military, healthcare, and interest on the national debt. So, it's a really bad situation. We need to correct these injustices to our democracy. And who is the beneficiary? The lower tax-paying red states. This is theft and lies by the right. And I am a libertarian. I want what's fair. And I think the popular vote should count more, if not a percentage of the Electoral College. Thank you. And we need better justice. And both sides need to work on this.